Aleph Aleph Gimel, exactly right. So when you are counting, or rather, if you're looking at a count-up sign-up sheet, and you have a list and you want names to be, you would put Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daled with the dash, and people would sign their name, write their names in. You wouldn't really count Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daled. You could. You'd probably count Echad, Shnaim, Shlosha, Arba, Chamisha, Shisha, Shiva, and so on. Just to make things complicated, since I'm a grammarian, Hebrew has two different ways of counting. If you have masculine nouns, you count with masculine Hebrew. If you have feminine nouns, you count with feminine Hebrew. So, feminine. You automatically, you default, feminine is the default for counting, which is Achat, Shtayim, Shalosh, Arba, Chamesh. Masculine is Echad, Shnayim, Shlosha, Arba, Chamisha. So, Echad, it's the Shema Echad, that's masculine. Echad, Shnayim, Shlosha, Arba, Chamisha, Shisha. But feminine, which is default, is Achat, Shtayim, Shalosh, Arba, Chamesh, as if you really care. But anyway, we're going to begin in just a moment. So, yeah. Oh. Well. Shalom, we're beginning. It's always a pleasure to have you to join us for Guitar Shabbat. His ruach and his love of Yiddishkeit and Tefillah is contagious. And we'll begin recognizing that we will move forward with the Shalom Aleichem and then the Matovu. For now, the Shalom Aleichem, and it's on page number 5.
Sharet Malachei Elyon Hi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Borchem LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Baruch Hu Nil Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Hi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zeichem LeShalom Malachei Shalom Malachei
On the main song sheet with a number of passages beginning with Hebrew and some transliteration and then English, Matovu. Matovu is an optimistic piece. Ma usually is translated as what, could be how, as an exclamation. You know, Ma nishtana halayla. What is this night? How was it different? Matovu, how good it is to be together. It comes from the Torah. Having people come together as a community is seen through the eyes of our tradition as a positive. We want to gather for the sake of supporting one another, of granting strength, of demonstrating love and respect and honor. That's the motto of this evening. on the song sheet. In the Siddur, we turn now to Yedid Nefesh on page number 10. Yedid Nefesh speaks of the soul. Each one of us is a soul. I don't think it makes sense to say that we bear a soul, because that means we know where the soul is. As opposed to where the soul is, it's how the soul is. And this is a poem speaking of that here on page number 10. And furthermore, within the poetry of this piece, of this meditation, is hidden the name of God. So found within the soul that each one of you, all of us across the world, is the name of God. That's what the soul is, the presence of the identity of God within each person. Good evening, Megan. That's what the soul is. The soul is the presence of the identity of God inside and within each one of us across the earth. Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh V'Rachaman, Yedid Nefesh V'Rachaman, Meshochadecha El Retzonecha, Meshochadecha Yadadadadada El Retzonecha Yarutz Avdecha Kemo Hayam Ishtachave Yadadadadada El Muladarecha Yedid Nefesh V'Rachaman, Yedid Nefesh V'Rachaman, Meshochadecha El Retzonecha, Meshochadecha Da-da-da-da-da El Muladarecha.
L'chun Ranana on page number 11 officially opens this part of the service, Kabbalat Shabbat, the new part of the service. We've only been singing Kabbalat Shabbat for about 500 years. That's the contemporary part of the evening service. because at a certain point in time, recent ancestors, Kabbalists living in the city of Tzfat, said, we need to do more than just the traditional evening service, which is Baruch Hu, Shema, Amida, and a Kaddish and Aleinu. We need to do more. We need to sing more. So they took hold of some psalms, and they placed them here as a warm-up. That's the first part of the service, Kabbalat Shabbat. L'chun Ranana, Yehuda composed his own melody. We are very proud of Yehuda and his work. Page number 11. On page 12 on the English side, for Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, sheep in God's caring hands. If only you would listen today to God's voice and not become hard-hearted like the people at Merivah, like that time at Massah in the desert, when your ancestors tried me and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought. For 40 years I was troubled by that generation, and I said, these are people whose hearts have gone astray. They do not know my way. So in anger I swore they would not enter my rest. What was it that caused those people to have their hearts gone astray, such that they didn't merit entering the land? They listened to conspiratorial liars. The 10 spies came back from their recon mission, and the community had a choice to listen to two individuals who said, if we believe in ourselves and believe in God, and we have the strength, and we're decisive, we can go in, and we can live, and we can work, and we can settle, and we can fight for what is ours. But 10 people gathered together. They colluded, and they said, it's a beautiful land, but we're too weak. We can't go in. Let's go back to Egypt and be slaves. And it was that conspiracy to deride the community, to lessen the community, to make it less than what it could be, that directed the community to wander for 40 years because it had no sense of who it was. Perhaps that was the greatest sin of that generation. We have to learn from that. Don't ever doubt ourselves for the capacity for greatness as a function of being part of a community. Have the confidence in yourself. Maybe that's what that opening psalm was all about. There's a song sheet. We have 3 song sheets tonight, and the individual song is Im Tirtzu, Ein Zo Agada. It's on the song sheet. And this is a very well-known phrase. Originally, it was a statement and became popularized as what we might call a modern expression. Im Tirtzu, if you will it, Ein Zo Agada. It's not a dream. It's not a legend. It's not folklore. Liot Am Chofshi Be'artzeinu. To be a free people in our own land. Beretz Tzion, Yerushalayim, a land of Tzion, Zion, with the city of Jerusalem. Im Tirtzu, this originally is a writing from Theodor Herzl.
Im Tirtzu, Ein Zo Agada, Ein Zo Agada. Lahiotam Hoshi Be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion, Yerushalayim, Tirtzu, Im Tirtzu, Ein Zo Agada, Ein Zo Agada. Lahiotam Hoshi Be'artzeinu,
The psalm on page 16 in the Siddur, and then in a moment the Lachadodi. The psalm on page 16 in the Siddur, on the English side. Worshippers of idols, be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme bow before God. Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment. You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinful. Light is sown for the righteous, and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holy name. L'chadodi on page 23. Yehuda? Which stands? First 2 stanzas on page 23, last 2 stanzas on page 25, L'chadodi.
Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zakor v'dibur echad, ishmi'anu elam yuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shimo tiferet v'liti la. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor havaracha, rosh mikedem nesucha, Sapase Shahatila. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Yaminus mo tiferotzi, yetz Adonai taritzi. Al Yadish bin Partsi, Benisim Havnagila. Lechadodi likrat
Romamu Adonai Eloheinu, lift up our voices to God our God, v'yishtachavu, and worship here, because this is a holy place. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, God is holy, and when we are assembled as a community, we transform the environment in which we dwell. Romamu.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lehar kodsho.
On page 28. Pardon me, on page number 28 in the Siddur, the last two stanzas on the English side. The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in our God's courtyards. In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no flaw. We rise now, the Borchu, page 39a. Baruch hu et Adonai Amavorach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Bo'ed. You may be seated. Baruch Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars and the places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch alen olam v'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim. Returning to the main song sheet before us. It's in the center of the page. Ahavas Olam begins with a transliteration, goes on in the English. This is a more modern, contemporary version, you might say, of the second main bracha that we recite, or we pray, or reflect upon every single night of the year. We attest that love is a part of the physical reality of our universe, and love is a part of the emotional and spiritual makeup of humanity, connecting us to God. every single night of the year. Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Ama'ata. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. The song of the trees when the wind stirs their leaves. The song of the earth when the rain soothes it stirs. The song of the sea when the waves are set free. The song of the sky when hummingbirds fly. Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Ama'ata. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. The song of the trees when the wind stirs their leaves. The song of the earth when the rain soothes its thirst. The song of the sea when the waves are set free. The song of the sky when hummingbirds fly. Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Ama'ata. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you.
V'avatachal tasir mimenu la'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema on page 41.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha ve'hayu Ha'davarim ha'ele asher anohi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantaham levanecha v'dibartaham bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'shakbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'yahut al yadecha Ve'hayu letotafot beinenecha, uvtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha.
Page number 42. Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 44, Micha Mocha.
Micha Mocha Mochlim Adonai, Micha Mocha Nedar Bakodesh, Oratehi lo tosefele, Oratehi lo tosefele, Malchutecha urahu vanecha, Okeyam lifnei Moshe, Zeli anu ve'amru Adonai le'elam vayed. Adonai yimloch le'elam vayed.
Before we pause, before Rosh Hashanah, pause for a moment. You see that we have a chair here. An empty chair. For the past 2 days, the international Massorti movement, of which North America, a call that synagogues would adopt someone who is missing. And there are hundreds of synagogues within our community who have empty chairs out beginning this Shabbat and moving forward. We're remembering Yotam ben Chaim. In Israel, you have a Hebrew name. I don't know his last name. This is the name that was sent to us from a volunteer who's coordinating this effort across the world to assign a name of someone who is missing to a partner synagogue. Doesn't cost anything, no money. The concern, the love, the focus, and the presence to remember that there is one person who's missing, and more. Yotam ben Chaim is from a kibbutz named Kfar Aza, just outside Aza. And over the past 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks, we've all become familiar with the terrain and the names of the region. Synagogues all over the world are remembering people. And this is the most recent, we think, nearly current, up-to-date list of the 210, 218 approximately missing. Many of those hostages, and some, we don't know where they are. They remain the victims from those attacks, those onslaughts at the music festival and at villages throughout the area. We look at an empty chair and we realize the emptiness. And you and I are members of families. And we're about to pray with Yehuda, the Hashkivenu. And Hashkivenu is a prayer that first came to us 2,000 years ago, calling out, God, help us all to lay down tonight with our heads upon our pillows in a sense of safety and peace. And that's where it's recited in the evening service every single evening of the year. And later it left the evening service and went to the Shema on the bed, because when we go to sleep at night, kick off our shoes, we've washed up, we're ready to go to sleep, we want a sense of peace for our families. That's Hashkivenu. They're families for all these people. And I don't know if they'll ever be able to put their heads down on a pillow with a sense of peace again in their lives. So when we sing with Yehuda, the Hashkivenu, we're seeking something that is as elusive as the hope of families who are torn, who are drastically incomplete. And what we can do is to share a sense of that incompletion, that void in their hearts. Hashkivenu, as you know, Yehuda's compiled a more contemporary version, and it begins here on the bottom of the main song sheet.
Actually, that isn't mine. A lot of people use that.
But you've added your own spin to it with your next piece, with the Matidyahu one piece, when you add in that piece.
No, that's what I mean. Everybody does that.
Oh, well, I thought it was you.
Don't want to take credit for something that's not mine. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Echaim Shalom, Me'ata ve'ad olam. Sometimes I lay under the moon, and I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. For when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. And all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There be no more wars, our children will pay one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, so we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the water stayed raging. In this maze you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. For when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. And all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There be no more wars, our children will pay one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ulechaim.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. V'shomer, the top of page 46.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
I'm interrupting because I want to say something before Kaddish. And then I want to go from Kaddish right into the Amidah. Because traditionally, once we get to just about the Kaddish, we're really not supposed to break our train of thought. The Kaddish is an introduction into the Amidah, and the Amidah is the main focal point of the service, where you and I stand in the presence of a community, but we offer our own thoughts, our own prayers. But the Amidah has been our scaffold upon which we constructed prayer officially for 2,000 years, morning, afternoon, and evening. And so look at page 47 for a moment. Just look at the little numbers. There are 7 brachot in the Friday evening and Shabbat morning Amidah, and Shabbat afternoon as well. First bracha, ancestors, which means that our families are important. Our families are important. That's how we begin the main part of the prayer service, by saying, God, we have a connection to God through the fact that we have a family. And each one of us has a very different family, but our families are important. Our families are holy. The prayer book talks that way. Our families are holy. And then, if you look at page number 48, the second bracha, God's saving care, having a sense that God is in our lives, each one of us in a different way, having a sense of God in our life, that's holy. Families first, a sense of God's presence. Second, top of page 49. Third, God is holy. So first, this family. Second, God, in some way, each of us feels or senses God within himself, herself, ourselves. And then third, God unto God's self is holy. Top of page 49, fourth bracha, Shabbos is holy, time is holy. We're diagramming. We're constructing a schema for all of us amateur theologians. Family is holy. God's presence in our lives is holy. God unto God's self is holy. Time, by altering our behavior, Shabbos, is holy. Page 50. Look at the top of page 50. It's the fifth bracha. Place is holy. Israel. Family. God's sense in our lives. God. Time under which the entire universe operates, and the land of Israel are holy. These are our value systems. We're charting a course, and every synagogue across the world is saying the exact same words. page 50 at the bottom, gratitude, being grateful, is an act of holiness. Being grateful is an act of holiness. Family and God and time and Israel and being grateful is holy. And the last bracha, which is always the last bracha of every Amidah, it's on page 51, and you know what it is. What's the last bracha of every Amidah? Prayer for peace. Peace, shalom, is holy. We as Jews need to know what we stand for, why we're on the planet, why we're descended from Abraham and Sarah and Devorah and David. We're here to explain to our own community, our families, that each one of us is sacred and has a purpose in the world, to uplift and build our families in time and a sense of God, a sense of place, and a sense of peace as being ultimate and grand priorities. That's why we're here on the earth. Not to make other people jealous, not to be seen as the biggest or the most powerful, to live our lives as a function of our values. We need to know that. We need to know who we are and why we're on the surface of this earth, in spite of people who are attacking us. And I want you to see yourself as an embodiment of holiness, of sacred grand purpose. When you leave the synagogue on any occasion of your life, know who you are. That's how we remain strong and vital, not with weapons, not with knives and bombs, but by knowing what we stand for. Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah b'yom divrach v'yitim chutei b'chayechon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael Bagala, Bagala, Ovisman Kariv, Vimero, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach, La'olam Li'al Me'al Maya, Yid. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitparvin v'yinaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brechu leila mikol brechata v'shirata tush v'chata v'nechemata da'amiran b'olma v'yimeru. Amen. Please rise. A few moments of silent prayer. The traditional text, pages 47 to 52, were an opportunity to offer a private prayer of our own devising. We face east. We face Israel. In a moment, Yehuda is going to lead us in the Shalom Rav, a prayer for a great peace, on page 51. But prior to that, we've been including the past nearly 3 weeks in our emails names of Israeli soldiers known to us. Shalom Rav means, may there be great peace. There are almost 360,000 Israeli soldiers on duty station at this very moment. We know a few of them by name. Oh God, watch over, safeguard, protect, and cherish the souls, the lives of all of those who are standing in defense of your people. Know them even though we do not. Care for them in a way that only you can. Establish them in health and strength, and most importantly, peace, that they return to their families well and safely. And the soldiers known to the families and friends of this synagogue, remember, Idan Levi, Yoav Eliezri, Roni Golan, Yaakov Richman, Eyal Tukovsky, Daniel Shemesh, Avishai Liss, Elidor Haddad, Yisrael Eliyahu Oren, Aaron Liss, Golan Van Meter, Tzach Mizlati, Elisa Cohen, Elad Cohen, Arad Lerner, Yoni Ivgi, Yonatan Pur, Guy Paz, Tom Paz, Noam Paz, Sawyer Mildwerf, Michael Ofer Tziv, Yuval Sarusi, Eitan Morgenstern, Jake Silberlicht, Matthew Flapan, Ronan Abramovich, Dolev Geva, Ori Bar David, Noah Moshe David ben Rachel Etta, Shai Choresh, Nadav Topaz, Eitan Choresh, Doron Elbaz, Ovadia Breutman, Ravid Armiyach, Ofek Geva, Ziv Geva, Emil's grandchildren, and many more. Shalom Rav, page 51.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amha Tasim Le'olam. Ki Ata Hu Melech Hador Lechol HaShalom. Ki Ata Hu Melech Hador Shalom, Shalom Rav Yisrael Amha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
Page 54. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba. Be'alma divrachutei mechazei miru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevorach. L'olam l'yalmei almaya. Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach. V'yitvarei serei v'yithadar. V'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shmei d'kudesha. Brechu. Leila min korбachata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'ami ran balma. V'yimeru. Amen. Tidkabel slotan votan dochesra kanleshimro. Amen. Yehei shalom mishmachar v'yimro. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mavu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'kosher v'yimro. Amen. Please rise. The Aleinu, page 56. We're going to conclude with that. Page 56. Aleinu leshabeach laton hakol latet gedula leotzer breshit shelo asanu kgoye aratzot velo samanu kemishpachot adamam shelo sam chelkeinu kahem vegar aleinu kechol Amonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu noteh shamayim v'yosei haaretz, u'moshav yekaro b'shamayim mimal, u'shchinatu zo, Shchinatu zo v'gavei meromim Hu Eloheinu ein od Emet malkeinu efes ulato K'akatu b'torato V'yadatayom V'ashevota el levavecha Ki Adonai hu Elohim V'al haaretz mitachat ein od. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai, le'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yihyeh Adonai echad, O Shemon, O Shemon, O Shemon Echad. Please remain standing. We are all remaining standing at this time. As a shul, we have our own calendar, which we've been maintaining for 120 some odd years. And part of that calendar is remembering the names of people who are related to previous generations of our synagogue members and current generations of our synagogue members, even if those people are gone and even if their descendants are gone. That's how important one name is. That's how important one person is. That for 2, 3, 4 generations after their family isn't even here within the synagogue anymore, we still remember them. That's a Jewish value. To remember one person, to remember every person in love and honor. And on this Shabbat, coinciding with our own calendar, we remember Nathan Weinstein, Grace Levinson, Bella Binder, David Weinberg, Jack Eisenberg, Beverly Zinn, Mrs. Nathan Bela Sobel, Dorothy Fleischer, Sally Berger, Joe Mazel, Sidney Casson, Bonnie Sibley, Bernard Weiner, Marcus Klein, Harris Marshak, Rose Grodsky, Bloom Fischler, Edith Wolf, Roger M. Katz, Usher Olinsky, Anna Lappin, Terry Grodsky. And we're also testifying to the cherished lives of 1,400 of our people whom we don't know, and we may never know, but they're part of our lives, and we are part of their lives. And so we stand with them, with their names and their families. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, Amen. Ba'olma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chaye chon uv'yom echon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'zaman kariv v'imuru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mivarach la'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitdaleh v'yitdalal shmei dekudesha brichu la'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'olma v'imuru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim oleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom oleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. We are seated. In a moment we'll conclude. And we have a third song sheet here before us. And to those joining in from home, you're part of our community. And we hope to see you at some point when you're ready to come back and join us, because we need your presence here. But until that moment, you're still with us and we still are with you. May God bless you with love. May you know that you are loved and you're an important part of our community and our identity. We're concluding this song, this Shabbat, with a specific song, which Yehuda plays beautifully. It's based upon one sentence in the Bible from the book of Micha. You know the word Micha Mocha? Micha. It's actually the name that gives rise to Michael, or later Michael. Micha. He's a prophet. And he said, you know what you need, people? You need to understand that God needs you to act in a certain way, to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly in life. To do justice, to love kindness, and to just be humble in your everyday life. And if you do justice, and you love doing kindness, and you're a humble, caring person, just imagine what the world will be. And that's the word love of kindness, Ahavas Chesed, which is the name of our synagogue. Again, this is another message for what we stand for and who we are and our values. Yehuda.
He has shown me, oh man, what is good and what the Lord requires of thee. He hath shown me, oh man, what is good and what the Lord requires of thee. But to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. He hath shown me, oh man, what is good and what the Lord requires of thee. He hath shown me, oh man, what is good and what the Lord requires of thee, but to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with thy God.
Yishar Koach, Yehuda. We're counting on seeing you soon. Until that point, may God bless you. Shabbat Shalom.